Last time on Polymorph Self. Out on the Raqqa, the northern frontier region of Kikathra, our heroes were on their way to the farming village of Daniel's Furrow. On the way, they came to the scene of an ambush. After a battle with forest bandits, they rescued two fellow National Guards, Blake and Callie. Then, they set off for the village once more. So you arrive, finally, at the village of Daniel's Furrow, together with your new companions you picked up, Blake and Callie. The village itself is almost right on the edge of the farmlands on the frontiers, and just 500 sort of meters beyond it is like the wild Great Plains, which is like a rolling plain. The village itself is small, can't be any more than 150 people living there. You see a village hall and a well in the middle, and it's kind of dirt and straw all around. People live in kind of thatched roofed cabins, like log cabins, essentially. There's stables. There is a blacksmith, which is largely open to the air. But most importantly, you see the two huge barns for the storage of the crops and grains, and one of them has been burnt to the ground. And Dennis, who has brought you here with his group of farmers, says, here we are. We can talk in the village hall. You can sleep in there. It is almost evening. And in the morning, I'll show you the tracks now. In the morning or any time you like, you can follow the tracks of these raiders, look around for whatever you want. You have the full hospitality of our village.
All right. I think we should check out the barn first, while there's still some daylight.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Wow, you're useful after all.
Yes, let's go, and maybe if it's getting dark, I can cast a light spell and make it light.
If the barn burned down, how much is there still going to be? Maybe we should look at the tracks and see what direction they go in.
Well, wouldn't there be something around the barn? Tracks around the barn?
Tracks probably stem from the barn.
We can look for tracks, and we can look at the barn as well.
Yeah,
let's do that. There's
kill two
multitask.
birds with one stone, yes.
Okay, so Dennis walks to the village hall, which is in the center, and that you can find at any time. And you guys walk over to the two barns. And one of them is a large kind of grain silo. I mean, it's a square building, but I mean, it's just, it's kind of sectioned. And it has two huge double doors on it, which are not locked, but they're closed. And the other one of these burnt remains. So who would like to do what? For example, walk around, look for tracks, enter one of them, or any ideas you have. Let's start with Onas. What would you like to do? What's your action?
I'd like to say one of the barns is closed, is shuttered up.
The non-burned one. Yeah, it's not locked, though.
It's not locked. Well, seeing as you guys have all the tracking skills and whatnot, I think I'm going to have a look inside the other barn just to make sure there's, what their grain stocks are like in there and see what's going on there.
Okay.
Go over there and open up that unlocked barn.
Seyda.
I guess while we're here, I'm going to see if there are any tracks around the barn.
Okay, would you like to look around the burnt-out barn or the intact barn?
Actually, I'm going to check out the intact barn. I think it's strange that they only burnt down one barn.
Okay, no problem. Bjorn.
Well, I would like to ask whether or not the barn was burned down before everything was taken, or how did that actually?
So you would like to speak to Dennis the farmer on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take your action to be you'll just follow Dennis and say, wait up a minute, I have a question for you. So we'll get to that. And Hjani.
Well, I'm going to wander around the burnt barn and see if there's any ash tracks or any kind of forensic kind of things as to what may have caused the fire.
Sounds really scientific there.
Forensic
style things.
Okay, so we'll start with Onas. You open the doors to the intact barn.
Yep.
And quite surprisingly, you see it's very well stocked and full.
Okay.
There are sealed barrels, there are sealed crates, and there are sacks of grain and crops stacked up everywhere. And every corner of this large barn appears to be like full up with stuff.
Okay.
If you want, you can enter and sort of look behind stuff and continue searching. But I mean, that's the first thing you notice.
Okay, so it's all the usual kind of produce you'd expect to see in a barn.
Yeah, and very, very well stocked.
Okay. I just think I'll say, maybe can I open up one of the barrels or the cartons and just check that it is full of grain?
Okay, no problem. Let's go on to Seyda. So you are going
I'm going to go walk around the unburnt barn and see if there's anything to be seen.
Okay, once you reach the back of the barn, you see tracks everywhere. Horses, sort of feet which are obviously boots, and a lot of activity, and the tracks also lead away from the barns out the back of the village to the northeast.
We don't know what's to the northeast. Is that the plains?
That's just open plains, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Bjorn. So, actually, I'll do Hjani first because you're going to have a small conversation, right? Hjani, you're looking around the burnt out barn. And again, when you get around the sides and the back, it's on the north side of the village, you see all kinds of tracks, sort of like boots, horses, and also what looks like drag mark. They kind of join up with the tracks coming off the other barn that Seyda found and head off to the northeast, very obviously, and still plenty of tracks there.
Okay, do I see any evidence of what caused the fire?
No, looking around, there are sort of like pieces of burnt wood that have fallen off the barn still, but it's largely sort of fallen in on itself. You look sort of just inside one of the burnt down walls. You can't see any sign inside of burnt crates or barrels or sacks. It does seem that whatever was in here was removed before burning. Okay, now Bjorn, you walk and catch up with Dennis. Oh, sorry, yes, Mr. Bjorn.
Well, yeah, I just wanted somebody to describe to me what happened the night of the grand theft.
It actually happened by day. We were all out in the fields and only a few people were left in the villages. And we heard people on foot and a couple on horses coming across the plains. We didn't know who it was. When they got close, we saw they weren't our soldiers. So we all ran and hid in the village hall. We heard them opening and ransacking one of the barns. We dare not poke our heads out in case they came to kill us. We heard them all riding off and the noises were getting less and less. And when we looked out, we saw our barn was on fire. And it was all we could do to stop it spreading to the next barn, but we couldn't stop this fire. And then they all disappeared to the northeast.
Okay. Did you happen to see how many were in the party?
I was hiding in the village hall the whole time. We
No
all
idea
ran in. It looked like at least maybe 15, 20 people.
Oh, did I manage to open up a thing and check that it was actually grain?
I'm sorry, that's right. You sort of open up a couple of sacks. You take the lids off a couple of barrels.
Right.
Just sort of looking at a few and sort of extrapolating. It seems like about 3/4 of them are full, and about a quarter are standing empty. But yeah,
Okay.
quite plentiful.
I'm sorry, this was in the burned out barn.
No,
yeah?
this is
This
I'm
is the
in
intact
the
barn?
intact barn.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
checking out
Alright.
that it's fully stocked, and I'm just checking out that it's the stuff in the barrels.
and you didn't find anything else sort of hidden in
Okay,
there back
so it's
behind
perfectly
the
normal. There's nothing in there that I would think would be untoward. So
Right.
Okay. Right.
Okay, you
We're reconvening.
reconvene.
So it seems like they did remove everything from the barn before burning it down.
I mean, but if that barn was as full as the barn I just saw, that's quite a lot of stuff to move in one go. I mean, it must take them quite a while.
About
couple of
15 to
hours.
20 guys could have carried it.
I don't know, though. I mean, like...
I've never tried to
it's-
carry a lot of grain before, so
grain's
that's...
heavy.
Grain is heavy. I come from a village a little bit like this in the plains. I don't know if 15 or 20 men coming down...
They could, but if they were
They
going back
could,
and
if
forth...
they're going back and forth,
doing a
taking-
number of, trips, whilst all those other guys were carrying, I mean, what did that guy say
Well,
to you?
I saw prints and stuff, like hoof prints, so they probably had some help from horses.
Horses. Oh, horses. Oh, horses with hoofs. Okay.
Yes.
With my plains wisdom, what do I know about carrying grain and things? Is there any special insight I have into this?
Well, there is some common sense knowledge you have, which is you can't sling a heavy, full grain sack, which, by the way, is almost up to your hip, over the back of a horse and then just ride off with it. You definitely need flat-bottom carts to be pulled or wagons to remove those kind of things.
And like, just as a rough estimate, like this, by the size of these barns, we can say there must have been more like grain in each of these barns than if you could put over like 15, 20 horses, if there were 15, 20 people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could always question Dennis further, but I mean,
Yeah.
if it was as full as the previous barn, then
Yeah, I mean,
one
that's
that would be
assuming it's-
one that would be probably way more stuff than this village would would produce, but also they would need carts and things to remove that amount of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, because unless they were having some kind of help from the people here, and then there's some kind of insurance scam.
Well, are you saying
I might
there's
be
an
saying,
inside man or men or
I might be
women?
saying all of them are in on it, and they conveniently hid in the village hall until everything was taken away, which could have taken 3, 4, 5 hours.
I don't really want to agree with you, but I might agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of these plains folk aren't so plain spun and honest. Maybe some of them are liars.
There is an old
Just
saying.
plain bad.
Plain bad. What's the old saying you were
I
going
was going to tell you an old saying that we have about
sorry.
people from Denver.
But you're not going to tell us
no,
now?
I'm not going to tell you now.
Oh,
no.
well,
No,
look
you've hurt my plainswoman feelings.
But you did just agree with me that they're probably a pack of liars who concocted this whole story.
That's the old saying
But
we
then
have about people from
Why,
Daniel's
if
Furrow.
they concocted this whole story, why did they go to the town and hunt us down and ask us to help them?
Why don't we just go northeast and
Because,
check out what happened?
Why don't we just go and find that gyrocopter? That's what I'm after. I want the gyrocopter.
I think you mean the ornithopter.
Yeah, okay.
Who was that?
I would like to take Daniel Dennis aside
Dennis.
and have a little word with him.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. Just between us plains people, is all of this on the level?
What?
Well, I'm just wondering. It seems to me like, of course, I grew up in a village like this, and sometimes
Just a
it gets
plain
to the
girl.
end of the year. I'm just a plain girl, and you don't have all of the grain you need to meet your quota for the nobles.
That's right. We was robbed, and you've been sent here to help us. We petitioned you. Are you going to help us?
I want to help you, Dennis.
We're in big trouble if we don't get our.
I
our
know.
quota back.
I don't want to get any villagers in trouble. I just kind of want you to level with me. If there is anything, I'm not going to throw around any accusations, but we can maybe talk
I'm going to
about.
throw about some accusations if you want. Maybe they couldn't meet their quota, and so they concocted a burning down one of our barn situations, then came running to us to make it seem like they'd been raided by bandits, when really
Sir,
they just couldn't keep
we
their
wouldn't
quotas
burn
up.
our own barn down. That's if both of them burned down, we'd all starve in the winter.
Yeah, but luckily they didn't both burn down. You have enough food to see you through the winter, but you just don't have enough to conveniently fulfill your quota.
Oh no, us poor villagers are victims of the corrupt regime.
Now we're casting aspersions. Hey, can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Are you a communist?
No.
Ah,
What kind of grain was it?
what? All kinds of grains and crops
Oh, okay. All
and millet.
right. I thought. Oh, millet. That's plain grain. Okay, that's all I wanted. Thank you. That was my only question.
Have you formed a kind of like a solution to this whole riddle now, knowing that
Nope.
there's all kinds of grain?
Are you going to investigate our problem?
Yeah, okay. So let's hear more about these tracks. What happened with these tracks? What's going on with the tracks?
Northeast.
I mean, we are
Well,
investigating.
yeah,
the
okay. Let's
problem.
go. Maybe we should just go northeast. Sleep and then go northeast.
I think we should just head northeast. Why do we need sleep?
Oh yeah, I mean
I'm
it's not
tired.
time to sleep. I said it's coming on evening, but if you
Well,
wanted to go early evening and sort of
You
you'll
had
be
a
losing
light
light.
spell, right?
I have a
He
light
has a
smell.
light smell, that's for
and
sure.
Also
That as
a
well.
spell.
We've been on the road for days.
Yeah,
It's
we
all
haven't
right, we all
showered. I mean, I
we all
just thought
kinda
maybe we
stink,
should
but-
clean up and then we can go.
Maybe you
So
stay
would you
here
like
and
to head
we'll
off
get to the north.
immediately?
I feel like we should head off immediately. I mean, this bandit crew, if there is a bandit crew, looking at Dennis.
Hey, what
side-eye.
about why? Maybe
Well, they're probably maybe a day or two out, right?
Maybe we
Or
should
more
ask-
than that, even. And so we should probably get on the case as
what
soon as
about
possible.
Blake and Kelly? Should we ask them if this is the MO of other bandit groups they've seen around here, seeing as they've been operating they were kind of in this area, weren't they? Or they were.
Hello, I'm Blake.
Hey, Blake.
Hi.
Sounds a lot like
Blake,
Dennis.
remember last time we spoke, we had this amazing rapport together. I think
Hi, Onas. You're
Yeah.
my new best friend.
I'm your new best friend.
I
What do you
think
think
we
about
should-
this whole situation? What does this look like? Stuff you've seen before? Or
Yeah, bandits. I mean, I don't think they'll be too far away if they're carrying all that grain. If we leave, we might catch them.
that's true.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Well, let's just get on our horses.
By the
and
way,
go.
DM note. Again, don't confuse what I say as I will never speak as a character and use it to just give you a hint to move the game along. If Blake says, yes, let's get going. Don't ever think it's me, the DM, like pushing you along. That will
No,
never happen.
I just can't
just to be clear.
I think
No.
we
It's
established
Blake
last time
saying-
I can't be bothered to interrogate him any more than surface deep, so I'm just going to go with what this guy says.
We're just
I think
terrible
we
at
should-
interrogating surface deep. I think we should realize that.
Yeah.
It's not in our skill set. Let's just go.
Well, it kind of is in everyone's skill sets in different degrees. We just can't be bothered. So let's just go. Let's go find some action.
Me
Come on,
and
let's go.
Callie are with you. We will stay with you.
Actually, I was
If you need
hoping
us.
that
Do we
Blake
need
and
them?
Kelly might just.
Or would you like us to stay
should
here
send
and
them
watch?
first.
They should stay here
I
and
thought
defend.
they should stay here and just keep an eye on all his villagers. Give us a report afterwards.
Which brings us to the point that if you're separating yourself from the cart, you may want to take some basic equipment from the cart. For example, things to eat, like iron dried rations.
Yeah, I was also wondering if I could get one of those crossbows, or we got some kind of bows. I know I won't be very
Short
good at
bow.
using
Wait,
it.
you
but
asked for another weapon that you won't use effectively?
yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
exactly
All
what I
No,
want.
I was just checking.
How am I going to
Another
get
weapon
any
you can
better
miss
if
people
I
No,
don't?
no, I just wanted to make sure.
I would just like we've got a pile of short bows. I would like one. If you don't let me try, I'm not going to get any better.
Okay, so Onas, write short bow and 20 arrows onto your character sheet
Okay,
somewhere.
everyone, I now have a short bow and 20 arrows.
Everyone write 1 week's iron rations somewhere onto your sheet.
Do I write the short bow into this my weapons?
No, if you try and use
Other
it, we'll get to that.
Okay, I'll just write it down.
I'll have to actually look it up. If you use something that you're not proficient in,
Yeah,
there's
okay.
there's a
I don't think I'm
There's a big-
proficient.
there's a big
weight of 1
penalty.
week's. We're talking iron.
Are we?
ration?
You don't
are we
need
keep-
to write the
Yeah,
weight.
are we keeping track of weight?
Also, I know you have a light spell, but included in the equipment on your wagon are torches.
Torches.
So I am redundant in
Torches.
another area.
A torch burns for 1 hour and gives you a light from between 20 to 40 feet away. And they come in packs of 6, and there are 2 packs on your cart.
How
So,
does that compare to a light spell?
a light spell is basically a magic torch. You cast it onto an item, and it works
Okay.
exactly the same, but it lasts for 10 minutes per level, so it would be 2.
Could I cast it
That's a-
onto one of the torches?
Yeah, that would be redundant, but you could, yeah.
That's a cantrip for you, though, right? Light.
No
It's a-
cantrips.
No free spells. No. It's a level
Oh.
0 spell,
Oh.
but he has a lot of them.
I have a
Alright.
lot.
So somebody can take all the torches, or 2 people can take 6 each.
I'll take 6 torches.
I'll take 3.
I'll
They
take.
come in packs. You can't split the pack. It's like
It's a pride of torches.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
what you're
you
saying?
can, you can take the other 6 torches. I'll figure out a way. I
Cool.
have low light vision.
I don't need any torches because I've got some kind of spell.
And the other thing that's sort of hanging out on your cart is a big coil of rope.
Nah. we
And
don't
that
need
coil of rope is 60 feet long.
That's a lot of rope. We don't need- That's a
Take it
heavy.
just-
That's
I'll take it just for the heck of it.
That's got to be heavy.
You can sling that, it's okay.
Oh, you can do that. Okay.
Don't forget, you're like an average human being would have a strength stat of like 8 or 9.
Well, I'm half
10
a
if they're
human
strong.
being.
If you
Well,
have
I'm
more than that,
below
it means you're
average.
essentially like, if you have any more than 11 on your strength, it means that you're like above average, sort of super character.
Jesus, I'm weak.
Okay, so
Whatever deity.
you
Whatever
leave the cart.
deity.
You leave Blake and Callie to mind the village and watch your cart. And you take 1 horse each, and you're all going to set off following these tracks, right?
My horse is called Tulip, by the way. Hoo-yah, let's go, Tulip. Hoo-yah, hoo-yah, let's go.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do before you leave?
We're out of here.
We've got provisions. We'll find these bad men. Don't you worry. Off we go.
But don't you relax either.
Yeah.
Okay,
here we go.
Can we get some coconuts?
You head off to the northeast on your horses at a good speed, but not too fast because you have to keep an eye on these tracks. You ride, and there's still plenty of tracks, despite this thing happening clearly more than, like a week ago. You think.
Tracks.
You keep following them, and after just 5 or 6 miles, you reach a kind of a scene. The plains here are kind of rolling up and down. There's no hills, but they still have kind of like rises.
A roll to them.
And some clumps of shrubs and trees, and it's not totally clear and flat. You come to the top of a rise where you can see the remains of a recent campfire. Looking down the rise into a depression, you can see what looks like the long stretch of a ruined wall of something that was built here maybe hundreds of years ago. It's like the lowest sort of stones of the wall. Beyond that is a deep depression filled with long grass. And on the far side, about 200 meters away, sticking up out of the grass are 3 perfectly semicircular burial mounds. And each one is like really big. I mean, at the peak of each one, it's like twice your height. And it's a perfect circle, so it's going to be, equally wide as well. That's what you can see. And the tracks kind of end and sort of gather around this campfire. And then various other tracks and drag marks sort of go from the fire down into the depression full of long grass.
These burial mounds, so is it quite fresh, the earth on the top of them, or
Well, they're far away from you, but they seem to be overgrown and green.
Okay, so they've been there for enough time for the grass
Well,
to
they're
grow
200 meters away, and you can just see them
Okay.
poking up at the far side of this depression.
We should approach, right?
We should go down there.
Who's
I was going to
actually-
ask if our sorcerer can check if there's anything eldritch going on
Oh,
around these
now
burial
you want
mounds.
the sources to check if there's any magic happening.
And by the way,
As-
it's the evening and light is fading.
Oh, there might be some skeletons or something. Is that what you're worried about?
I'm always
Okay.
worrying about skeletons.
Skeletons. Okay, is what we call them in sorcerer's language. Okay, I will do a detect magic then, just to make sure there's no magic.
You have a detect magic spell.
Yes, I do. It's my level 0 spell, and it's called detect magic. And that's what
Awesome.
I'm spelling.
You are casting
I'm
it
spelling
where,
it now.
sort of around the general area, because you're standing by this campfire now, and it doesn't like go on forever.
Okay, can I direct it at those mounds before we approach them, or do I need to be a bit closer?
I think you're too far away.
Oh,
I'll tell you
okay.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the exact details for you. And while I am, I wonder what Bjorn and Hjani were saying to each other.
Me too.
Does anyone in our team have, I don't know, some sort of survival skills? Maybe check on what these tracks are doing, how fresh these tracks are? It does seem a little weird to me that we have been able to follow them all this way if they're a week or two old. I mean, does it not rain on the plains?
It never rains on the plains.
Except I can't remember the name of the country. I don't know if it's.
Does it rhyme with Schwain?
Yeah. The rain in Schwain stays mainly on the.
It has a range of 60 feet in a sort of radius around you, so you'd have to...
60 feet is 200 meters, right?
No.
It's
You'd have to
20
go
meters,
near
I
there.
think. Well, okay. Well, I won't cast
20
that
to
spell
30
then.
meters, let's call it.
So
It's
we
not
should
exact.
approach.
Yeah,
we should
Is
approach.
this land
these-
metric or imperial?
I
What are
don't
those
mind
words?
sacrificing the sorcerer to any skeletons that may crop up.
Go
while
on.
You
he
wanna
goes
creep
and
up?
I,
detects
I like
magic.
I like skeleton. I'm
Creep
gonna,
up on them mounds.
I'm gonna go over to those mounds because I have my arcana knowledge as well. So obviously I'm very interested in these mounds and all this kind of thing. I'm a mound guy. Some guys don't like mounds so much. I like mounds, particularly 3 in.
He
next
likes
to each
creeping
other.
up on them mounds.
I like creeping up on mounds.
Okay, so
I'm going off to see these
Onas,
mounds.
your action is you're going to walk over to the mound. Seyda.
I'm taking Tulip with me. We're trotting over there.
Seyda.
I guess I'm going to take Hjani's advice and use my survival to see if there's anything I can tell about the tracks.
Good. Bjorn.
I'm going to follow him up until 100 meters away.
He made a
And
good
then-
point about taking Tulip. If you'd have to tie up your horses to something if you wanted to not have them with you, essentially.
Can I take one of my torches and put it in the ground as a stake and tie it up to that?
You could create a stake. Yeah, I'm not. If they bolt, it might.
I'll just hold on to your horse. How about that?
Okay.
I'll
just
stand
ride
around
your
and hold
horse.
on to
I'm
your
riding
horse.
my
Cool.
horse.
Yeah, hold that. I follow him up to 100 meters just to close in on it a bit, and then I hang
Okay.
back.
Hjani.
I'm there holding on to the horses and keeping a watch.
Let's start with Seyda. What's your survival?
My survival is a 4.
A 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're going to examine the tracks, right?
Yeah.
So you need to beat 10, and you get +4.
Okay. 17 plus 4.
Wow.
That is 20? 21?
20, I think. Somewhere above
21. Good. So you do, and by the way, the rest of you are sort of. Oh no, you're still there. Onas and Bjorn, you're walking across at this point, so you can't react to this right away. Creeping. You look at all the sort of the drag marks and these tracks and that, and you surmise that there can't have been more than say 2 or 3 horses involved in this. And strangely enough, every single horseshoe or hoof print is identical. I mean, really identical. Like not in any the same positioning of the nails and the shape. You see that all the horse sort of prints seem identical. And looking at the drag marks, you can't really see any evidence that there was large amounts of grain or boxes here. There doesn't seem to be that many. And certainly not 15 to 20 people. That's what you can discern from the remaining tracks. Now, you two start walking over towards the mount. And you enter the long grass and you reach the sort of the path of the ruined wall. And once you get down there, you notice that, yeah, a long time ago, there must have been some kind of village here. This wall just has a few blocks at the bottom, and beyond it, some wooden stakes. And this area would be useful to tie your horses to if you needed to. Beyond that, you get within your sort of 60 feet of these mounds, and you can see clearly the center one is larger than the two to the left and right. And before you get ready to cast your spell, you notice something. The light's fading. That just out of the grass, about 10 feet before the main mound, there is something lying on the ground, long and dark, partially obscured by the grass.
Long and dark.
I just think it's funny how we keep...
When I say long, I mean at least 5 or 6 feet long.
How we keep splitting off from the main group and investigating things together. I think that's quite interesting. Okay. Anyway, you've got my back. You're coming up from the rear. So let me... I don't know, there's something long and dark and interesting over
I
there.
stopped 100 meters ago.
Oh, did you? Well, we're getting close to... Okay, so I think that's interesting that we have this homoerotic thing going on, but also we need to focus now on not homoeroticism, but the long, dark schlong in the grass.
Would you like to approach it, or would you like to cast your spell?
Am I
now?
close enough to like this general area now to cast my detect
you're
magic
within
spell?
range, but you. What I meant was when you get within range, you also can see this obscured item.
Yeah, it's obscured, so I'm going to cast my spell.
Okay, you cast detect magic.
Detect magic.
At this level, your spell would sort of produce a sort of glowing aura around the presence of a magical spell or item.
I know, sir.
And nothing reveals itself to you.
Okay. And there's nothing about my knowledge arcana that I can draw upon to see, from what I can see from
you
here.
are pretty sure there's no evidence of magic in this vicinity or on these mounds from here.
Well, let's go up. I'm going to go up to the big schlong.
I'll continue with you.
Yeah.
That's
a long way back.
Can we at least motion back to Hjani?
Can you be like 20 meters away from me? If you're going to have my back, can you at least be close enough to do something?
Okay, cool. Can we motion back to Seyda and Hjani?
I think instead of you guys motioning us to you, I want to motion you guys back so I can tell you about the weirdness that's going on.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You guys can't tell each other your reasons. All you can do is do the motioning. So at the moment, you're standing 150 meters apart, light is fading, and you're both waving
motioning
each other.
on the opposite sides.
You know what I'm going to do? Do you have any torches on you, Bjorn?
Oh, yeah.
Have you got that thing lit right now?
No.
Well, do you want to light one of those things so we can see what this mysterious dark
light a
object
torch.
is before us? And I assume you're now 20 meters from me rather than 100 meters from me. So it makes
it's not that dark. If you approach it, you can definitely see what it is.
Okay. Well, I want to approach this thing and see what it is.
Okay. You guys get closer. And you see it's clearly one of the farmers.
Oh.
And
God.
He's dead.
Oh.
There are some items scattered around him, and the lower half of his body is horrifically mangled, and his legs below the knees are basically bones with flesh hanging off them.
Ooh.
And you see clearly...
Is he dead?
Yeah, and you see clearly the tracks around him continue to the foot of the middle mound and head up the side of it. And from here now you can see that the top of the mound is sort of disturbed and has some kind of like open wooden door sort of sticking up at an angle.
Oh my God.
I gesture harder to Seyda and Hjani.
But he's lying there prone and still. But it looks like he burst out of that burial mound. I know. This sounds
I see
like
no evidence of him bursting from anything.
this
He
sounds
just
like
has
this
bony
sounds like
legs.
undeadism to me, which I'm very interested in. I think this would make a great chapter in my book. So let's go and investigate.
Okay, so now I'm going to cut to Seyda and Hjani. You motioned at them, they motioned to you back, then they just went on, and now they're motioning again really frantically, but you don't know why. What are you going to do?
Is 200 meters enough to yell and be heard?
Yeah,
I feel like it is,
200
right?
meters is 2 sprinting tracks.
2 100-meter sprinting tracks.
I guess I have... That's like, what, a football field, right? Maybe? I mean...
No, it's not even a football field. It's very short.
Okay, I'm going to have to...
For
At the,
yes.
I was going to ask for Seyda and Hjani's action, wasn't I? So,
Yes.
Seyda and Hjani, they are frantically motioning you over now.
Well, I guess if they're frantically motioning us over, then maybe we should just go
I'm
and
not
tell
going to
them...
move for anything less than frantic.
Yeah,
Let's go meet them.
We can talk about what we found here or there. So we walking on over with these horses.
Oh, you've got your horses. Okay.
Okay, you reach the ruin of the wall, which you also notice is a convenient place to put horses.
This is
Fantastic.
convenient.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
Okay, so you tie the horses. The horses are tied, and you join them where you also see the horribly mangled body of this farmer.
Gross.
Hey, let's see if he's got any stuff on him.
Oh, yes, actually. Does he
Do
have cash
you
on
like
him?
looting dead bodies? What are you,
Well, one
Hjani?
thing we're not going to find is leg meat.
Yeah, no leg meat.
Not there.
What
No
you
hamstrings.
find around him are the remains of his trousers, and you find a pocket, like literally just the pocket. And inside the pocket, you do find an object. It's a small glass vial full of red liquid.
I think I know what this is.
Oh, it's the special elixir.
Yeah, it's the red. It's the elixir of the
poppies?
The red poppy.
The red poppy elixir.
And here's the interesting thing, Onas. You know there are 2 versions of the elixir. There is the one which is made from the flowers and is a kind of narcotic but non-magical.
Okay.
And then there is the one which is then turned into a kind of potion for the elven nobility. And since your detect magic didn't pick up anything, it means that this is the non-magical sort of
So when
first
it's
stage
refined, it
narcotic.
becomes magical. It's classified.
Well,
as
first it's
magical.
refined into what you're looking at now, which is a
Right.
narcotic, but then
Right.
it also gets sort of added magic properties at a later stage.
Okay, and
so
that
you're
would
looking at the
detect,
non-magical version, which is a kind of drug.
And I remember you saying that you were very interested in trying it at one point.
Not right this second, but yeah.
Well, no,
Let's
not after
keep
we.
hold of this. But this mean I don't know what this means.
Well, that's what you find, and you see the tracks going up.
I pocket the vial of red.
I think I'm pocketing that vial of red.
Be careful, guys, because this is I'm not going to tell you not to pocket it, but if you get caught with it, then you're going to be in serious trouble.
Well, this is going to go in my report, which is why I pocketed it.
I write the reports. I'm the report writer. I'm the writer here, and also I'm the expert on magic. I'm going to pocket this.
And it seems to me that we've probably stumbled upon another poppy smuggling ring.
How many poppy smuggling rings are there in the plains?
Hey, look, okay, so this guy, he's done, but let's go and look at this thing that he may have. Did he
Dug.
burst out of? Or did he dig it? And there's like 3 of these big mounds. We should go and have
I
a
don't
look.
know where it came from that he burst out of it.
I got the impression he burst out of this thing and then fell down it.
There
That's
are
what it's
tracks going up the side of this.
I thought there was a
this
hole at the
middle
top.
mound.
Okay, so
Okay, let's check out
to
the middle
answer
mound.
your previous questions, Onas, to answer your previous question, you are now close up to these mounds. So you see these are ancient burial mounds. They are very, very old, but there are lots of new tracks going up the side of this here. And there is some sort of propped open wooden trapdoor which has been excavated on the top that you can just about make out.
Okay, and so like that's as much as I could know from my knowledge arcana. This is.
Well, what I mean is when you get, to answer your previous question, once you get close, you can see it's not recently made. It's
Yeah,
an
but I'm just
ancient
saying, like, are these kind of mounds? Are these like a
one. Well, you know nothing
well-known-
about these. These are
I don't
not,
know anything about these.
These are not common to the most of the kingdom. These seem to
Okay.
be unique to the plains.
Bjorn, you sneak good. Why don't you go and look inside that mound?
I do want to go and look inside that mound.
I want you to go and look at them.
And so
We all do.
I sneak up and I peek over the porthole. old
This
mound.
is the biggest mound, yeah, the one at the front.
Yes,
The
it's
central
the middle
mound.
mound.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, did somebody write down who is holding the vial?
Well, am I holding it now? Because I
Well,
think I should take this.
I
vial.
made the claim, as you are meant to do.
Well, you smelt it,
meta
you dealt it.
commentary.
Okay.
You're meant to say, like, I take it and I pocket it.
Yeah.
As your dungeon master, if nobody wrote it down, then later I will consider it lost. So one person has to write it down.
Why
It's
don't
important.
you guys toss a coin for it?
No, it's okay.
Just
He,
did.
he can take it. It's probably going to have
Vial
some horrible consequences.
Red.
Sorry,
Good.
that was your
Okay.
character sheet.
You know the name of the elixir to be elixir, like in Elven it's spelled like Veri, very. Elixir Veri is the name. You have one vial.
Oh,
of it.
very elixir.
Vile red
Very
it
berry.
is.
Fine. Okay, Bjorn, you clamber up the side of the burial mound, and it's really starting to get dark out now. Reaching the top, you see the square hole, which has a trapdoor fitted in it, which has been now opened. And there seems to be a shaft heading down into
Shaft in the
blackness.
Who's the big mound that's
Hey.
coming right out of the ground? Well, obviously, I can't see down the shaft. Like, is there any... Do I see any light or anything in this shaft?
No, it's pitch dark.
It's just
now.
pitch black.
It's getting dark outside and there's no light down there. It's just a kind of shaft.
All right, I scramble down the mound and I return to my team and I say, it's a shaft. It's dark. It's getting dark. What do we want to do?
Well, there's that campfire back there. Maybe if we set up camp here.
I'm
Oh.
worried that whoever might be in the mound, if they come out and stumble upon us, I would rather go into the mound and get the jump on anyone who might be
Yeah,
in the
it's,
mound.
it's always going to be dark in the mound, even if it's daylight out here. We should get down there now.
We do all have
We
all
all have
our
light.
torches.
We have
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
lights, things.
Alright.
Yeah.
All right, down into the mound.
Who's first? Down. Who's first into the mound?
Okay.
Who's first down the mound?
Down the mound.
Mound down.
Mound's down.
You're going to use light a torch, right?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah, well, I light a torch, yes.
so? It's going to last an hour in game time, which is like 6 sort of full round searching around actions or turns, to use the correct lingo.
Right, we just need
We've
one
only. This is
person.
our first torch lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
So Bjorn lights a torch, and what you can immediately see is this shaft goes down about 3 feet before it's going to open into some sort of chamber, and that just below
It's just 3 feet.
3 feet, and then it opens out into some
3
sort of
feet
room.
is not a shaft.
It looked like a shaft when it was dark
It's
before.
a
Never gonna
shaft.
do that again.
That's still a shaft. Come on.
No.
Yeah.
this
Let's
is
not
a
get
Okay.
shaft.
technical.
What you see is that about 1 foot down into the shaft are some climbing spikes sort of hammered into the wall, and there is a rope there.
Okay.
Someone has set up a rope.
All right, well,
3
this
foot
is
tall.
obviously a climbing shaft.
You just get down in that shaft.
Yeah, I
so
make
we
my
can
way
get
down. I make my way down one-handed.
with your torch.
Torch in one hand.
Yeah. Okay. What do you see? What's down there? Hey.
You are a rogue and you're good at climbing. Now you're climbing one-handed down a rope while holding the torch in the other hand, right?
But it's 3 foot.
Now what's your climb skill?
I've got a +4 to climb.
+4. Now I'm going to say climbing one-handed using your sort of like your legs and your one hand holding
Well,
the
wait,
torch.
can I not just?
It's going to be.
What,
you
if,
just
what
jump
if
down
I'm
it?
holding? What if I'm holding the torch pirate style in my teeth?
You'll
burn your
still
face.
make the check in case you drop it or burn
All
yourself.
right, let's just do it
Can
anyway.
he,
One-handed.
he could just
Luckily
jump down.
luckily for you, the check is 15, and you have. So taking a 10 would mean you'd miss it by 1, so you're going to have to roll basically
Yeah. Oh, I've
to
got.
have no mishaps.
All right, I'm rolling. It's a 15 with +4. That's 19.
It's nothing to you. You easily shimmy down that rope. You almost don't need to use hands. You're so good at shimmying with your legs.
Call me Jimmy Shaft.
Once you so you guys don't know this, so just hold off while I work with Bjorn here. Bjorn, once you clear the 3 feet of shaft, you see that. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Inside the barrow is a large square earthen chamber about 30 feet across. The walls and corners have been reinforced with wooden props. The walls themselves are covered in some kind of faded murals depicting hunting scenes made with dyed clay, but obviously you're hanging in the middle of the room by a rope, so you can't see the details. Wooden debris is scattered all about the chamber, and in one corner on the floor is another open trapdoor revealing a square hole. Someone has also driven 2 metal spikes through the door and into the ground here. And the end of a rope has been tied around them. It dangles down into this second hole. That's what you can see hanging on the rope. So a sort of burial chamber full of wooden debris. It's been cleared out long ago. But on the floor in one corner, you can see like a second square.
It just
open
goes down
trapdoor,
deeper.
which you can surmise it would take you sort of below ground level.
All right.
Now you are currently hanging halfway down, holding the torch, looking around.
Okay. Well,
You're at 1.5 feet, dangling 1.5
And
feet down.
Onus is
Yeah.
Onus is not here. Bjorn, what are you going to do?
Well, I let them know. I whisper up 3 whole feet of shaft.
Yeah,
What I just
and a
saw.
bit into the room. So you're going to whisper up, are you? Oh.
Yeah.
We'll shout.
I'm not gonna shout.
Just
3
speak.
feet of
Just
shaft.
speak up.
At any rate, yes, I let them know what I see as I make my way down. Sorry, how far down is it from where I am? Like, can I just
Like
can I
about,
drop?
No, it's about another like 6 or 7 feet. Yeah, you can kind of
Yeah,
shimmy down and drop in.
Yeah, I shimmy and drop.
Okay, so you're now in there,
I'm
holding a
fully
burning
in.
torch, sort of looking at all these murals and stuff. Now you guys are on top, and he's told you it's an empty earthen room.
Let's all just get down there.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
all
going
go
down.
down
Yeah.
there. I don't think we need to do any.
I would like to remind you all that I am 6 feet going down this 3-foot shaft.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're 2 feet.
Like I
going down
said,
the
it's
3-foot
not
shaft.
a shaft.
Seyda can go first,
It's
and
a
that way
hole.
she can just hold her arms up and
can catch
possibly
you
catch
guys.
us.
We could just.
Seyda
dangle and
is the
drop.
human ladder.
Let's just get down there. Let's get down there and get to the second shaft.
Not that it matters too much, but the shaft is 3 feet. Then it opens out into the room, which has a normal height ceiling on it. So
Oh,
So-
okay. So
but-
it's about 6, like a 9-foot drop or
yeah,
something.
That's
Would you
still
want-
once you're
a-
out of the
Oh,
3
okay.
foot
So
shaft.
my shaft mathematics is short.
I think Seyda can take it.
I can still, I
We're
can catch
in.
you guys.
Who's down next?
Let me go down because obviously I'm going to.
Seyda,
I'll go down
Seyda,
first,
Seyda.
And then if anything happens, I can catch you
Yeah,
guys.
you
Yeah,
have probably
I'm-
the worst climb skills.
Okay, Seyda lowers herself down the rope with both hands free. It's no problem for you. And you are now in the room. Who's next?
Me, I have both hands free. I'm going down.
You could only possibly screw this up if you rolled a natural one. So roll a
God,
d20.
so I could still screw up going down a 3-foot shaft. Okay.
No, it's a total of about like 15 feet of climbing on a rope.
Here we go. Let's see. Okay.
Only if you roll a
Seyda's
natural
down
one.
there.
Alright,
Anything
so
else
I'm
is
rolling a
fine.
d20
arms
to
outstretched.
see if I get. Okay, here I go. I'm rolling. Natural 1. Here we go. Oh, I got 2 ones. 11.
Okay, so you make it down.
Phew.
Fine.
That was close, guys.
Yeah, Hjani, it's no problem for you.
Sweet.
You're all inside this square earthen chamber with these faded sort of cave painting type hunting murals on it, and another hole in the corner leading down. Now, Bjorn, you lean over this next one and you see that the initial shaft before it enters the room is a little bit deeper this time. It goes about seems to go about 6 or 7 feet down before it's going to come out through the roof of whatever chambers
Right.
below this. And again, someone has left a rope. Now there are some more details in here. You notice on the walls, and especially sort of on the ceiling up around where the rope came in, are lots of marks which appear to be like sort of fingernails rending or claw rending marks on the walls. You also see this around the hole on the floor too. Like whoever was pulling themselves up had sort of like claws or something.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
all right. It looks like somebody's pulling themselves up, not that
Like
people were
whoever's
just trapped down here.
Some people who've been climbing in and out of this seem to have some form of
Right.
unusually long fingernails. Yeah.
Would it be a good time to tell you about the weird horse prints? Horse prints?
Horseshoe
Horseshoe
prints?
Did they have
Hoof prints.
nails on they had
Yeah.
nails?
Please do.
Yeah, we probably should have told you this before, but the tracks upstairs are weird. They're all identical. Like, and not even a little bit identical. They're all completely identical. Like, it's the same horse that has been reproduced a couple of times.
The same horse has been reproduced a couple of times, or they just did multiple trips.
Well, the way that the tracks were, it looks like it's weird. It's not normal. It's not tracks on top of tracks.
They're clone horse.
I think maybe I didn't explain it. It's like even within one horse's tracks, it's exactly the same one.
Did they have nail
It's like all
marks?
been made with one horseshoe
leg.
or something like that. Yeah.
Well,
Or one leg, yeah.
that's weird, but I don't think that's very relevant. Did the horses climb
one-legged
down this
horse.
shaft?
I'm just saying it might be something. Maybe it's
What
something
could-
that can transmute.
Does anyone have any
Interesting. Alright.
knowledge of what that might might
I've
relate to.
imparted to Seyda everything that she can infer.
Right.
So that's not like a hallmark of any kind of creature I might know about, or anyone.
No,
like
it doesn't ring a bell to
Okay.
you. No.
Actually,
Yeah, well-
Seyda, do you know anything about this kind of chamber that we're in right now?
I don't think so. We don't have these in my village. It might just be a burial chamber.
Yeah, you've heard of these ancient barrows being found across the plains, but yeah, you've never been in one yourself, obviously, because technically it's. If it wasn't already open and you opened it, it would be
This is
grave
hallowed
robbing.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds like a normal grave robbing has happened here, and someone tried to claw their way out. We should just let's go down.
That's insane.
Let's just get down
I
there.
make my way
Come on,
down the
let's
next
go.
shaft.
Have
We're
you've got your
going
torch still in
deeper
one hand?
underground.
Yes.
Okay.
One-handed torch.
Oh, one-handed. Make the roll again, please.
Okay, can I have the...
I have a +5 to climb. Do you want me to go one-handed with the torch?
Or could you not
Oh,
drop the torch down there?
It'll
and
be
then
fine.
climb down?
I've already stated the intent. All right, I'm
Oh
rolling.
yeah,
have
I should
my-
remember that. It's a kind of house rule. There's no turning back time. Once somebody
yeah.
states an item, you can't second guess them, or it's happening. Once he said it, it's happening.
Once he said I'm doing that, but if he says maybe I should do this, then we can
No, then
debate.
I'll
I'd
just
rather not do
that's a
that.
conversation between you. But once
Okay.
he says he's doing an action, it has begun. Okay, go.
Good luck.
All right, I'm going to roll. I have a +4 to climb. That's an 11. That's 15.
You make it.
Hey!
You descend down the rope, and you come out in what seems to be the middle of a long east to west underground hall. But your light doesn't reach to
Right.
the ends. It's a little bit cooler and chilly down here. And the chamber's made out of sort of stones and bricks into an arch. And the ceiling's quite high. When you come out, it's still quite a drop. There's like a high arched ceiling in this underground chamber, okay? Like I said, there's quite a drop to the floor as the ceiling is high and made from a brick arch. The rope goes all the way to the bottom.
Oh, good.
You descend down the rope and come out in what seems to be the middle of a long east-west underground hall, so your light doesn't reach to either end. There's quite a drop to the floor as the ceiling is high and made from a brick arch, and it's chilly, like a kind of a stone and brick underground crypt chamber. The rope goes all the way down to the bottom. Although the hall is just 30 feet wide, it disappears into darkness to your left and right. But just at the edges of the light, you can make out some kind of low arched entrances in the walls. And you are kind of hanging at the moment. And only Bjorn is seeing this, so Bjorn, what do you do?
I'm just going to whisper up to them that it's really creepy, but come down. And then I make my way down.
Okay, you make your way down to the bottom. And at this point, you may want to just keep, not an accurate map, but keep a rough note of where you are. Like, oh, okay, you are. Good, okay. So who's coming down next? This is a much longer
Yeah, I'll
climb.
come down next.
Okay.
No, don't you go? Oh, you've already said
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
I'm
go
going down
next.
next.
Yeah, Robyn, I have to ask
Yeah.
you to just
Sorry.
not do that in general.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
I'm going down.
You're going down next.
Right
so
now.
make your roll. Only a natural one will screw it up for you.
I got 15.
Okay, so Onas, you are now at the bottom of the rope, standing in this sort of underground crypt
Okay.
chamber that disappears into the darkness to your left and right.
Left and right. Okay.
Who's next?
I'll take up the rear.
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay, you shimmy down the rope with no problem. You're at the bottom.
And I suppose now I shimmy down the rope.
You do. You're kind of in darkness if you're the last one. There's just a gleam of light shining up out of the hole because he has the only torch.
Does my low light help with that?
Yeah, it does actually. You're not in complete darkness.
Yeah.
Always
As an
on,
elf.
or do you turn that on and off?
It's
skill,
it's
isn't
just like my natural way of being.
You can
a
see in
mildly
low light.
nocturnal,
but not- yeah.
nocturnal-ish.
Yeah, it's not like the old versions of D&D where it's like heat sensitive super night vision. It's like low light vision, like cats or dogs.
And
Essentially.
that's an elfish.
Yeah,
thing,
it's an elven
Oh,
trait.
my pupils are so big right now. I look
Elven,
super
sorry.
cute.
So you are all standing in this, and what you can see is there's more of this long hall left to your left and right in darkness, but on the north and south walls, which you can see, opposite each other, it's like there's 4 of these, 2 on the north, 2 on the south, and they're quite widely spaced, about 30 feet apart. Are these small arched entryways, which are only about waist height. Like these little arches. Like I said, there's 2 on the north wall, 2 on the south wall. They're opposite each other, but each pair is spaced about 30 feet, and you're exactly in the middle. And it's an east to west hall. Okay, and this is a creepy, sort of brick arched underground crypt chamber.
Seyda, can you check for tracks or anything?
I can't see as well as you guys. I can try. Can I check for any tracks?
Looking down, it's a stone floor,
Oh.
and it's dusty, and without the tracking feet, it's like beyond you to see if anything's been going on here.
Wait, does tracking come under survival?
It does, but if you don't have the tracking feet, survival only does up to a certain level of tracking. On a sort of dusty stone floor with no obvious
Then
tracks,
it's,
it's out of your league at this level, sorry.
Hey, Onas, do you think you can see if there's any magic around here?
Yeah, I'm going to do another detect magic just to check if there's anything like any of these things. The arches, I guess. 'Cause that's
magic
what it
things,
is.
You
yeah.
cast detect magic beyond the range of your light to the east along the hall. Only perceptible to you
Right.
is a small red glow of some sort of object which seems to be on the floor.